Greetings, pirates. First, I want to talk about the fourth swap. You ask questions like, how much will I get? You ask other questions. How much did people get in the previous wave? In the previous waves? Let's start by looking at the fact that the fourth wave is a bit unique, but in some ways it's similar to swap 3. The thing is, in the first and second waves, we distributed 100% of the budget, but in the third and fourth waves, we have this concept of a budget. In the third wave, there was a test budget of 500,000 pirates. And in the fourth wave, for our project's birthday, we decided to make it 2 million. How is this going to work? For example, users submitted applications for 8 million pirates. Our budget is 2 million pirates. Accordingly, that's 4 times more. So in this case, our coefficient is 1/4, and each user will receive 1/4 of their balance to their wallet. For example, if you had 4,000, so 1,000 will be credited to your account, and the remaining 3,000 will stay for future participations. I also often hear questions like, I don't want to apply in this wave, I'll earn more in the next one. I recommend that you submit your application in this wave, then in the 5th wave, in the 6th wave, because the number of waves is 1 to 1, they are limited. Now I want to say the main things. Already, about 10 users will be penalized on November 3rd. What are we going to do? On November 2nd at 11:59 p.m. is the last chance to submit a swap application. On November 3rd, at around 10 UTC, we will launch an algorithm that will identify users who played unfairly. The principle by which we identified these users will be announced specifically on November 3rd. Why November 3rd? Because right now users are actively falling under this metric, and we don't want to spoil the surprise for those who are playing unfairly. So, the first phase, we identify users who are playing unfairly. I'll post an announcement on the channel. The users who were banned, these users get banned, and after that, the calculation starts. So, you still have the opportunity on November 3rd to actively tap and collect pirates. In other words, the more you earn, the more pirates you will get. I'm also answering the question, why wait until November 3rd if you can submit an application now? Now, a bit of insight regarding the 5th and 6th waves. For the 5th wave, as I mentioned, we'll be asking users to install our branded app. We will fix the Tunbridge problem. There might be a different mechanism for connecting the wallet. And maybe there will be 2 more simple tasks like that. The protection system in the 5th swap will be a little different. We've thought it through. Again, it will be announced right before the actual distribution. And the biggest distribution will be the 6th one. We'll launch it after the 5th wave. The trigger for us will be when any user reaches at least 40,000 pirates. Why 40,000 pirates? That's the maximum rank in the game. And accordingly, if this user manages to meet the requirements, they'll get a pretty big prize. That's $800, maybe even more. The thing is, what you just heard about the 40,000 pirates. Any user can submit an application. It's just that for us, the trigger is 40,000, because that's a pretty good amount you can get in our game. The 6th wave will pay out the entire balance. So, users who are able to meet the requirements. Let's say there are 10 users, 20 users, and all users who can withdraw their balance. For example, each one will have 100,000, so 100,000 times 20. That's the budget we'll distribute in the 6th wave. Next, we either plan to do the final 7th wave, but we'll see depending on our development plans. I've shared an inside scoop about the 6 waves. To find out what happens next, subscribe to the channel to stay updated. Bye bye for now.